We are live. Okay. So today's notes, let's see, what's the date? The 13th? 9/13/2021, okay? Our objective today is really going to be solving what I call literal equations and formulas. Okay, we're going to be solving literal equations and formulas, okay? It's going to be just like what we've been doing, except we're going to be moving X's, or we're going to be moving A's, we're going to be moving B's, we're going to be moving letters. But we're just going to think of them as numbers, because what they are is they're numbers, but we call them variables because we don't know what the number is. Okay, I'll say that again. Okay, a literal equation then is two or more variables. And I'm just going to give you a variable n. Why do we use variables? Well, n, we use variables. N is always the easiest to explain, because n could be the number of people, right? It could be. I mean, we don't know. N could be the number of people in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We could count, and n would represent 30, okay? In my third period class, n is 14. In my fourth period class, n is 22. So that number varied. You see that number varied. It went from 30, then it varied to 14, then it varied to 22. So we use variables because they represent numbers, but then they vary, okay? You didn't know what n was, did you? It could have been, and here it's 30, right? So you use a variable to represent numbers we don't know. Sometimes we could solve and get that answer, right? And sometimes we can't. Sometimes the variable has to stay a variable until we have more information, okay? So if we look at example 1, okay? Same thing, solve for y. So what I'm going to do to make this a little bit more interesting for us is I'm actually going to circle the letter I want to solve for, okay? So there's y. And I want it to be all by itself. I want y to be all by itself, so I can say y equals, okay? To do that, next to y is the 2x. 2 and an x is both. Now, I don't know what x is. I do not know what x is. But if I can get the 2x out of here, then I'm going to have y by itself. So I want to get y by itself. To do that, I'm going to get rid of the 2x. If I get rid of the 2x, I'll have y. See, watch me cover it up. If I get rid of the 2x, what's left? Y, correct? But to get rid of the 2x, I have to subtract it, because that's a positive 2x. 2x minus 2x is nothing. But in an equation, what you do to one side, you have to do the same thing to the other side. So if I go minus 2x, I got to go minus 2x here. Okay, now I've got to make sure you didn't get this. I'm going to make a fool of myself because that's what I do best, okay? Okay. 4 minus 2x is 4 minus 2x. You can't subtract these. You cannot. That's a 4 and that's an x. 4 minus 2x is just 4 minus 2x. Don't subtract those. You can't. It's like having 4 apples take away 2 bananas. Okay, you with me? 4 apples take away 2 bananas. What do you got? You still have apples and bananas. You agree? You still have apples and bananas. They're not the same, right? So I'm going to rewrite this as y equals 4 minus 2x. Is y by itself? We're done. What does y equal? 4 minus 2x. That's the answer. If I knew what x was, I could plug in a number. That is the answer. So our goal is to get y by itself, and then I have an answer. What is y? It's just equal to 4 minus 2x. What do you think? Thumbs up? Okay, let's take a look at number 2. So solve for y. So let me circle y. And I want to get y by itself. So I want to get rid of all the stuff around it. Okay, now remember there's the equal sign. So on the side of y, I need to get rid of the 2x and the 3. I've got to get rid of the 2x and the 3. So I'm going to get rid of the 2x first. Okay, same way. How did I get rid of the 2x up above? I just subtracted it, right? So if I minus 2x, cancel it out, right? And what I do to one side, I have to do the exact same thing to the other side. Okay, the 2x is gone. I'll bring down the positive 3y. I don't need really the plus sign. You could bring the plus sign, but you don't really need the plus sign. Equals, well, 12 minus 2x is just, it's not 10x. It is not. That's a 12, and these are x's. Those are like apples, and these are like bananas. It's just 12 minus 2x. You cannot subtract them unless they're the same, okay? Can't subtract them unless they're the same. So now I'm almost done. I've got a 3y, but because I want to get y by itself, right? So I have to get rid of the 3. There's an invisible times sign. So divide by 3. And that'll cancel out, right? I have to do the same thing over here. So I divide the whole thing by 3. Divide everything by 3. Divide everything by 3. So the y is by itself, isn't it? 3's gone, so I have y equals, what does it equal? It equals a 12 minus 2x divided by 3. Now, that is a great answer. There's nothing wrong with it. Or, let me put or, and if this bothers you, then just keep the answer. Or 4 minus 2/3 x. Hopefully you see where the 4 came from, right? And here's my 2/3 x, because 3 divides into both of them, okay? Thumbs up?
Yes.
Okay. Now, example 3 is a formula. So it's a formula that we know about, perimeter, okay? So a formula is a literal equation, but it's a little equation that has an application, that's all. Same thing. Okay, so if I have to solve for w, okay, here's w. I'm going to circle w. I have to get rid of all of the, well, here's my equation. There's my sides. I've got two sides. That's an L. It looks like a 1, doesn't it? But that's an L. That's an L. That really is an L. It just looks like a 1. So, here's my W. I've got to get rid of everything around it. Okay? I've got to cancel out everything around it. I've got to get rid of the 2L, and I got rid of the 2. And then I'll have W by itself. So to get W by itself, let's get rid of the 2L first. So it's a positive. It's a plus 2L. So it would be the opposite of a plus 2L. Well, minus. Good job. Good job, Mars. We'll go minus 2L. And over here, we'll go minus 2L. Because what you do to one side, same thing on the other side, right? Cancel it out. Boom, boom, gone, right? So what is P minus 2L? What is P minus 2L? It's just P minus 2L. It's just P minus 2L, right? That's like pineapples and lettuce, I guess. You got pineapples subtracting lettuce. What do you have? You still have pineapples and lettuce, don't you, right? So I got a P minus 2L equals a 2W. So you cannot subtract them or add things unless they're the same. Pineapples and lettuce are not the same, okay? So then I've got a 2W. There's an invisible times, right? So what I want to do is get rid of the 2. So I'll divide by 2 because that cancels out the 2, right? And then I've got W by itself, which is what I want. But on the other side, we're supposed to divide by 2 also, right? Divide by 2, divide by 2, divide by 2 on this side, divide by 2 on this side. Now, this answer is fine. If you want to leave it as P minus 2L divided by 2, that's a great answer. I would take it. Or another answer could be a 1/2 P minus a 1L. And if you can see a 1/2 here and a 1 here, great. I'll take either answer, okay? All right, let me see where you're at. Thumbs up, sideways, sideways thumbs. Maybe sideways thumbs, okay. All right. Any down? All right, I'm doing okay if I don't have any down thumbs, right? All right, so now, a formula we know in science is Celsius to Fahrenheit, right? And sometimes in maybe Stubbs' class or Mrs. Rabbit's class, they're going to make you do this. Okay, but we can do it. Now this is the hard one. This is the hard one. Here's my F, right? And I give my equal sign. I've got to get rid of all the numbers around. I need to get rid of this 5/9 first because it's on the outside of the parentheses. I'm going to get rid of the 5/9 first. Okay, so any fraction, the easiest way to get rid of a fraction is to multiply by its reciprocal. Okay, so if I multiply by 9/5, I better show this up above. I'm running out of room. C equals, I'm going to show it up above because I'm running out of room. Yeah, it'd be easier if I just wrote it differently, okay? So I'm just going to show it up here, okay? Here's my 5/9. The opposite of 5/9 is 9/5, okay? So what you do to one side of the equal sign, you have to do the exact same thing to the other side. So I'm going to multiply this by 9/5. Well, the good news is you really can't multiply 9/5 times C. You can't. It's just 9/5 C, because we don't know what C is. C is some letter. Over here, on the right-hand side, the 5 cancels the 5, right? The 9 cancels the 9. And let's see what we have. So we have, I'm going to bring down my 9/5 C equals, that's gone. I don't need the parentheses anymore because there's nothing to multiply. I don't need the parentheses, so just F plus 32. How am I going to get rid of the 32? I'll subtract it, right? I'll subtract. So I'm going to go minus 32 here, and on the other side I'll minus 32. Now, you can't really subtract it. You can't, because that's a C, and that's a number. Yes, question. Is that Maisie?
Did I miss something, or why is it a positive 32? Yeah.
Oh, no, you didn't miss something. I did. I did. It's Monday morning. Thank you, Maisie. Golly. All right. No, that's my dumb mistake. You didn't miss anything at all. Monday morning. Good thing I have lots of whiteout, because I make lots of mistakes. How about plus 32, Maisie? How's that? Is that better?
Yes.
Okay, now, what is 9/5 C plus 32? You can't really add them. You can't really add them at all. So we're just going to call it 9/5 C plus 32. So our answer, 9/5 C. You cannot add these. 9/5 C plus 32 equals the Fahrenheit. So one rule, that's an easy rule, is if you ever go to a foreign country, what you do first, if it's like 20 degrees Celsius, you double it and add 30. That's the rule. We say we double it. So if it's 20 degrees, we get 40 plus 30 is about 70 degrees. Does that make sense? It's a real quick way to say, okay, how should I address it? Okay, last one. Okay, the amount of money borrowed in a bank account can be described by the formula A, that's the amount. P is the principal, is what you put in, plus P R T, okay? We want to solve for R. R right there. Okay, I got my two sides of my equal sign. Well, when I look at this, here's my R. I've got this P to get rid of, this P to get rid of, and the T. I got to get rid of everything around it. I got to get everything around the R, right? So let's get rid of this P first. This one that's all by itself, let's get rid of this, okay? So I'm going to go minus P, because I can get rid of it, right? And on the other side, minus P. Well, A minus P, apples and pineapples, right? They're different. A minus P is just A minus P. You got apples minus pineapples equals PRT, okay? Now, this is P times R times t. And I want to get r by itself. Opposite times is divide, right? So I'm going to do this in one step. If I divide by p and t, it'll cancel the t, cancel the p, right? So it's all one step. T's are gone, p's are gone, and I divide over here by the p and the t. Okay, cancel, cancel. So I would have a minus p over pt equals r. Okay, how's that? That was harder, wasn't it? Show me thumbs up. Sideways? Any sideways? Sideways, okay. All right. Now, we can use this formula, okay? So, if we want to use this formula, what we can do is put 6 years in for t, right? So, I'm going to put, if 6,200 had been collected after 6 years from 5,000 investment, okay? So, that would be the amount. That would go in for A. That's the total amount. That would go in for T. And that goes in for P, my original investment, okay? So let me use my formula here, and I'll be able to find out what the interest rate is, okay? So we're going to put 6,200 in for A, 6 in for T, and the 5,000 in for both P's, for both, okay? So watch what I'm going to do. Okay, I'm going to go 6,200, because that's A. So I'm just putting it right in here, okay? Put that right there, minus P, which is my 5,000. Divided by P, which is my 5,000, times my 6 equals my R. Okay? One more time. So everybody sees it, okay? I put, that's A, that's my amount. Put it right there, okay? See it? Put it right there. 6 years, I put that in for T, okay? See that? 5,000, that's my principal, so I put it in both places. Okay, 5,000, 5,000 there. And now I'm just going to use a calculator to find out the interest rate. Okay, so calculator out. Let's see if I can do this. And I'm going to go 6,200 minus 5,000, right? Okay, I get 1,200. I'm going to divide that by both these numbers, 5,000 times 6, and I get that answer. That answer. So I get 0.04. I got the decimal in place. Oh, before I make another mistake, right, Maisie? Better fix that, huh? I know, almost made another mistake, okay? So that is correct. But as a decimal, what is that interest rate? Because it's like it's a percentage, right? What's that as a, what is our interest rate? Yes, Grace? It's just 4%. Everybody agree with that? It's just 4% because we move the decimal 2 places. Thanks, Grace. So R equals 4%, okay? All right. I'm going to stop my recording and